Hi everybody, Sandy Day again from Beyond School Bells. We're here today to talk a little bit more about the content that is up at the Beyond School Bells website. The demonstration I'm going to be showing you today, it actually is still residing here on my computer, so allow some grace. The content today is engineering design, and it's geared to students who are in grades K through 2. We are borrowing Ruff Ruffman's videos from the PBS website that go along with his show. I don't know if you watched it, but it is pretty good. One of the things I like about it is not only is it engaging for kids because he's so goofy, but there's a lot of adult jokes in there that, you know, like plays on words and stuff like that. So it's kind of fun too for us. So again, reminder, all of this content is free for you to use. The only thing that we ask is that after the unit is over that you choose to use, that you get back with us on that 4-question that is a Likert scale. You know, was this fun for your kiddos? Was it easy to understand for your facilitators? And then that 5th question, what could we do to make it even more fun and engaging? So thank you for that in advance. Let me start by sharing my screen here. See if I can get us in the right place. I did it. First time out. Oh boy, it's a good day. So here's, again, like I indicated, this is a picture of my drive, my Google Drive, where I've got all of the completed content for Beyond School Bells. It will be migrated over to their Beyond School Bells website. Excuse me. And so what I'm going to walk through now is what you'll be seeing related to the engineering design lessons. So there will be a folder in a folder, and the other resources are sitting here in a folder named that. There are Word versions of all the lessons and the overview, but Word versions inside Google Drive can look really wonky. So I'm going to walk you through it on this PDF version because everything's at least kind of all makes sense, and all on page 1 is actually all on page 1 instead of hanging out over here. Anyway, so if you've never seen Ruff Ruffman, here he is. He's a puppy. And he's got Blossom and Chet, his sidekicks. One's a mouse and one's a cat. And they help him solve all kinds of problems. So you're going to love it. Okay, so there are a total of 9 lessons in this unit. Yeah, I'll correct that. There's nothing down here. There are a total of 9. So there's 3 subtopics, kitchen chemistry, there's sports science, and then structures. This 4th idea did not flesh out. I'll change that and get that out of there. So good to know. All right, so kitchen chemistry starts with the states of matter. And as you can see here, so we're looking at gas and liquid in the first unit, or the first lesson. We look at ice, and we change it from a solid to a liquid. It's, as you know, not magic. But we have kids do a couple different things specifically to have them watch how that, you know, would happen and why it happens. We use light to facilitate it going faster. We do have an enrichment here, which is to do that process in reverse and to make popsicles for tomorrow's after-school club. How fun. The next lesson is same thing, basically, except this time we're taking a piece of chocolate and we're going to melt it and make it into something else. So we're bringing in the concepts of an additional component when you have something and you change its state of matter, and then what happens when you bring it into context with another content or component or two. In this case, we're making some s'mores pops. Yummy. A lot of eating went on here. And then finally, for the kitchen chemistry, we talk a little bit about mixtures. And the video will show, these videos, you know, set the stage for you beautifully. They're trying to create some mixture for a party, and it has to have certain colors. And, you know, if you use the wrong components, the colors all come together and it's brown. So basically, we're not going to do that. We're going to have them make a trail mix. And then they're going to make the trail mix, maybe have a couple bites, and then they're going to go ahead and resort out that trail mix. And the point there is that some mixtures can be resorted and some cannot, as they will see in the video from Ruff. You know, it's teaching by how not to do something. We've all been there. All right, the next thing is, next 3 lessons are on sports science. And again, beautiful video is going to set this up. And this is all about pushing and pulling, and how pushing and pulling things happen on a flat surface, how easy that is. What happens if you make a grade, you make it harder. But when you make a grade and make things harder to push up, if you invert that grade, then your ball can go further down this particular obstacle course, or however you want to do it. That's this activity down here. So kind of interesting and kind of fun. And then lesson 2 is pulls against motion and friction. And this is a game between 2 to 6 players. They'll go ahead and do this activity. Then they're going to do a little reflection. There's also, for this lesson online, there is an online game that demonstrates this particular concept very well. And it's a one-on-one game, so you can highlight it as an activity to take home if you want. And then the, excuse me, the final lesson, what is wrong with me? The final lesson here for sports science is all about pulling and friction. The previous one was pushing. This is about pulling. There's a cute activity or piece in this video about pulling a wagon, pulling your sister on a flat sidewalk versus pulling your brother up a hill. It's funny. Anyway, or down a hill. Oh, and then you have a runaway stroller, as in the case of when I was raising my little ones. We used to play runaway stroller. And one time the stroller really did run away, and it wasn't very good. But anyway, okay. The last set of 3 lessons is all about structural science, and kids are going to be building things. This first video, it's just so awesome. I mean, this is an opportunity for kids to make an obstacle course that they could play, let's say, putt-putt golf through. And how does how does the effects of wind, let's say, play with those kinds of components? And what they end up learning in this particular lesson is that the reason you can't have tall things with no air ventilation going through them, such as certain bridges and things like that, is that over time they really could just fall down. And basically you kind of get you get that sense by what Ruff's doing right here. Okay, you're gonna like that lesson. That's a lot of fun. Okay, next. Now this is one that I really like. So note to self, on this particular one, you're probably gonna need to make a connection with like your local Casey's or something like that, and ask them if you could swing by and pick up their old newspapers, unless they say no, because you're going to be building a structure with newspapers, and you're going to build a structure so strong that a student could sit or stand on it. And what the video that we're showing here shows students, you know, you roll them up tight, use tape, all that sort of stuff. But the cool part is they make a stool with a back and everything that then can be part of their reading circle time when it's time to do that in their club. So that's kind of groovy. I like that one too. And then finally, there's a lesson on essentially a bird bath. This bird bath keeps falling over, and part of the problem is it doesn't have a wide enough base. So we go through some of the technical terms related to that. Students get the opportunity to build a bird bath with these terracotta pots and saucers. And then the extension might be or enrichment might be to create 1 or 2 at school for the garden itself, or for just the school grounds or whatever. So those are those 3 topics within the engineering design unit. So again, it's kitchen chemistry, sports science, and then structures. I would, again, on that 3rd unit regarding newspaper, I would see if you could make a partnership with a local business, see if they wouldn't allow you to pick up newspapers as a recycling tool for this particular lesson. That would be very helpful. Okay, so that's that lesson, or that unit. You can choose to use all of that unit. You can choose to use none of that unit. You could choose to use just a lesson or two out of there. I will tell you that this particular piece, this particular whole unit also became a virtual backpack in the spring, and it was called Structural Science. It was in 2 parts. Structural Science, I used those 3 lessons, and then States of Matter, and I kind of tweaked a little bit and added a couple more activities. So you'll find them in a couple of different places, basically on Beyond School Bells' website. But that was the full unit as it stood as of last January. The virtual backpacks were done in May, so they were kind of duded up a little bit differently. All right, well, that's what I have for you. If you have any questions for me, please don't hesitate to reach out. I am sday@nebraskachildren.org. And then if you have an email from me in my signature, you will find my cell phone number. Call it anytime. Well, let's say not after 11 p.m. And then also on there is my Zoom address if you ever want to give me a holler via Zoom. So please don't hesitate to call, because our goal here is to help you work with kids after school in a fun, engaging way. We really appreciate you considering using some of this content. And I guess I'll sign up and say, remember, stay positive and test negative. Bye, everybody.